For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Sending you guys a bit of a review video on a product from Zempire. So with me here today, I have the Zempire Aerodome Pro 2, and this is the V2 version. So the Aerodome's been in the range for a number of years for Zempire, and really kind of what we've got is a new version 2, i.e. V2 version of it, with a load of updates and a lot more going on. And to be fair, there's some really nice additions to the actual model, and a few things that have certainly changed. Now, it's worth stating at this point there is two versions of the Aerodome in the Pro series. You have a V2 or a V3. V2 refers to being kind of 2 pods, and the V3 naturally 3 pods, so you kind of get the idea from there. It's a really nice option to sort of like a vis-a-vis tent, but with an extension, and it's ideal for those people who want separate sleeping areas but still a communal living area. And we've got a separate V3 video, which you can, Pro video in the free, which you can check out as well to get a bit more idea between the two sizes that they do. First things first, what we've got new for the 23 season is we've got this beautiful new kind of fabric. Slightly different colour, but it's still that same old quality, and that's one thing you can certainly say with Zempire. They have probably the best spec tents on the market, certainly when it comes to polyester as well. We've got a beautiful kind of ripstop material built into it, and actually what we've got now is essentially a 210 denier, but with a 420 ripstop running through it, so it's really strong, and like I said, it's waterproof to about 8,000 mil high straight ahead. Admittedly, that is 2,000 below what it was previously, but what they've done is actually basically got a better colour retention in the product, so it basically looks sharper for longer. And to do that, again, they've just knocked it down a little bit on the waterproof and everything, just because they couldn't quite get up to that height. Realistically, I don't think you're going to see the difference between that. I mean, still, it's nearly 2,000 mil more than anything else on the marketplace anyway, so it's in a league of its own from that point of view. But the main thing, because obviously it's a sort of New Zealand brand, it's all about having hotter summers and colder winters to what we have in the UK. So the tent is kind of equipped towards that. So ventilation at every single panel to have airflow coming through and keep it light, fresh and airy on the inside. We've got essentially, it's inflatable, so it's quick and easy to pitch. Each beam is done individually, unlike the new V2s in the normal aero range, and where there's single point inflation. This is still sort of multi-point, and to be fair, I think it's not a bad thing. It wouldn't make it over complicated to have a cross member and everything all running off a single point inflation. And certainly for me, using from a manual pump side of things, it's much easier to do this with a manual pump than it is with multi-point than it would be a single point for sure. We've got new tweaks, obviously not only a new colour, but we've also got a sort of slight tinted windows and roof windows included on that. Shut up. We've still got core features like storm straps, and the attention to detail for Zempire is really where they come into their own. Small things like all of the pegging points are kind of steel rings, again, so you've got lots of durability, tensioning, webbing straps and tension points at every single point. And like I said, the detail, again, comes to its own when you see things like, with, for example, a little touch of detail with the little yellow part here, how it goes from thin to thick, and it sort of swoops up the door to give that kind of feel. And that's a very complex thing to do to physically make by hand. So it's a testament to kind of how Zempire want their tents to look and the workmanship they want built into it, and how they can kind of create that, because that's a bit of a headache to make together. But you know, it's what they want. They don't want to compromise on anything, and that's certainly shown with that tent. A new thing for this year is the fact that actually the front is more of like an open size, and you can buy an additional wall set to go on the front. So you've got an open canopy, which kind of we'll show you a bit later on in the video when we drop that down. Because it's an open canopy, it's much more versatile. You can obviously open it all up completely on a nice day like it is today. The wall kits come as essentially a kit, so you get a beautiful kind of windowed weather tight version with your tinted windows in the front. These still can make into doors. You've got a mesh version as well, which obviously if you want that airflow with it on a sort of when you've got a lantern inside and you don't want the bugs to come in, so that again works really nicely. And this front wall also has eyelets located in the bottom, so you can gull wing it out. So when you have a gull wing, it looks something like this. So admittedly, that is actually kind of the aero range, but the concept is exactly the same. So you can have the mesh and then obviously the roof of kind of the normal panel. This still doubles up as a door if you want it to as well. So you've got different positions on here, so you can unzip it, take it back into, you have a little bit of a mini entrance. And the joys of, because the zips kind of go either way, just makes life a little bit easier that you can enter from either side. So you can open that up, roll that door back, toggle it back there, so you can have it sort of a little bit of an entrance in. It goes to the halfway point, or you can also have it fully open. Because you've got a slight tint to the window, it works really nicely. When we take the panel off, it's going to look something a bit more like that. So you've got an open front to the actual tent as well. And again, this beam's been increased in terms of the head height in comparison to previous models, just to make it a bit taller and a bit more usable. So this front area really does come a bit nicer. Quite simple to pitch. One person could do this on their own in the region of about 10 to 15 minutes. You can see from, we've done a pitching video myself. I'm pretty sure it took me about 12 minutes on the dot to pitch the whole thing, which is brilliant for the size of the tent it is. If this was poled, it would take an awful lot longer. Little side door here, which there's also a mesh part built. No, apologies, not there. But you've got a side door directly built into it as well. So you can always keep that front bit enclosed if you want to and use this as the main entrances. One caveat to that is probably the guy ropes will obstruct that a little bit. So really kind of it's pick and choose what you want to do. 2 pods either side, so really it's a 6-person tent. You've got basically a 4-berth bedroom on the far side, and then sort of a 2-berth bedroom on the other side here as well. So you've got a lot of sort of general size, and it's quite spacious. It's a very, very comfy 6-person, to be honest with you, just because you've got almost like the family room and then almost the master room. So you probably put the kids on the 4 berths with a divider between them if you really want to, and then have the master bedroom on the opposite side. Works really nicely. You can actually add connections to it as well. So if you want to make this bigger for any reason, you can actually buy the Aero base, which is a whole inflatable shelter that can go on the front of it if you wanted extra room. We've got an old video of that as well, which of course you can check out itself. What we'll do, let's have a little walk inside and talk through a load more features that the Aerodome has to offer. So now we're inside, so you can probably appreciate for kind of the main zones we've got into here. So we've got this kind of sort of front canopy area ideal for sort of cooking or storing wet stuff. The main kind of living area where you've got the sewn-in ground sheet built into it, and then bedroom pods at either side. And we'll bring the camera in a bit to have a look at each side and talk through a load more features a bit more up close and in detail. We'll start at the front part here. The joys of this obviously is a really nice sort of section, especially by the enclosure. It helps to really extend it. The sort of front part is brilliant on a breezy day like it's today to allow that airflow to come directly in, and you've still got privacy curtains from the left and also from the right. Curtains here are all zip up, and actually they've got a really nice quirky feature. They've got the ability to add venting but still allow privacy. So what we've got here is a full mesh part on there, a privacy curtain that zips up quite nice and neatly. But what you can do is it has a point where you can unzip it and stage it out. So what this allows you to do is still have airflow coming directly down, but you get the privacy that you necessarily want. The sky windows, which we saw earlier, can also have be zipped up to the top as well, just to completely increase that privacy. And you've even got a really nice one built up in here to allow the main dome to feel a lot lighter than maybe it previously would have done. Decent sort of width. Now, when we admit there's a slight lip coming into the point, but that's because you've got Zempire's 360 door. The 360 door basically labels you again another bug barrier directly in there to increase airflow without having the bugs come in, but you can have the solid panel built into it as well. The touching the details are small things, like I said, I do like with Zempire. Things like all of the zips are really nice, big, oversized. It's got a little kind of glow-in-the-dark kind of puller as well, and you've got ultimate that flexibility that you just, by pulling it and feeling it, you can feel the quality in the actual product itself. So you can zip yourself up completely like so, failing that, create a bit of airflow. So you can again create a little veranda with this kind of mesh part, so you have, again, the dogs can't see out or get out, but you still have the airflow through. Failing that, of course, opening up fully if you really wanted to. So admittedly it's not a halfway point, so kind of the door is either open or fully closed, but it stores nice and neatly into its own little pocket down in the corner. So from the bedroom scenario, it's kind of the same design from the previous kind of Aerodome. Difference being is that kind of you've got a slightly darker bedroom to make it seem a bit, you know, darker sort of during the daytime, and they've changed the panelling so the panelling above the bedrooms are also quite dark as well, again to try and cut out that early morning light and hopefully give you a better night's sleep. Other things you probably can't quite see where we're located is storage pockets built into the bedroom, so you can again maximize your internal space. And even in the actual bedroom itself, there are a few pockets located there again, which kind of mirror what we see on the outside. Again, brilliant for keys, phones, and that sort of stuff. In fact, let's bring the camera in. A bit harder to look around corners. Can't see through them, of course. So, so like I said, as we come in, you can see kind of the canopy there. The webbing storm strap's located on the front, and you've got all the windows and all the tint to it as well. As we kind of come through, good sort of canopy depth, a really nice big vent right at the top there to help increase airflow. So you have that open or closed. For me, I kind of always have it open. And then you've got the opening to the bedroom part itself, and the storage pockets you can see running down kind of the inside of the bedroom. That kind of grey kind of fabric in the bedroom as well. So you've got a 4 berth in there, and there's a zip divider between the two. So it really does feel like toggle divider actually, apologies on that. So it does feel like it's 2 separate parts, and you've got an element of privacy to it as well. And you've only got storage pockets on the side, but you have got it on that side. So one thing to bear in mind, if you're looking at kind of the free version, you almost got 2. This is replicated on the other side. Whereas if we come flip round and look at the other side, it's one big nice 2 berth. So that's for me be almost your master bedroom, because there's a whole sort of storage section located in there, so you've got a bit more extra play. Big ventilation points at the back here, so what you can do is unzip this whole inner tent, and then you've got this massive big vent which can fully open at the back, which you do from the outside and roll up. So again, from an airflow increasing that point of view, it works really, really smart. You've got a hanging point for a lantern located here, and even little Velcro tabs running down to your cable entry point, which is located down in the corner. And your mains hookup, your mains cable can also come into the actual tent, so you can have electric quite nice and neatly in the tent itself. And you also got one on the back side, and you've got this beautiful big mesh door, low level, but also again high level, mirroring what is on the other side. But for me, I think it works really well. It's definitely someone who wants a completely separate sort of sleeping space from one another, but still a decent sized living section. So what we'll do is have a little wander around kind of the overall outside of it. So you've got the front canopy, as you can see here. And when we come around the back, you can probably appreciate this kind of like T-shaped style. But webbing storm straps on every single point, as you can see, high visibility guidelines, but it's even a small, so you've got the black panel, 2-tone panels there. That is basically the additional ventilation. Low level ventilation down the bottom as well. And again, from the back side, it looks really quite sharp. And I really do like the new colour. You can see kind of where the darkness is in relation to kind of the bedrooms. To give you an idea of how it compares to, say, the free, from visually it looks very, very similar. And if we look to my right here, we've got the free located there with the free pods, and also showing the mesh part of the wall kit that you can get with it. But overall, really quite a smart tent. Certainly a lot going on, and I think from the additions in terms of the changes from the old version to the new 23 model, I think it makes a big difference. So just to reiterate those points, we've got a different material, so it's a much kind of a better colour retention, smarter look with the new actual colour, and also generally the waterproof level still got that same quality and thickness. And also I think from a warranty point of view, no one really does anything longer than warranty than Zempire do. So Zempire has 4 years on this product, which is quite astonishing really, and that's kind of shows their confidence in the product more than anything. But I think it ticks a lot of boxes. And also having that increase in height in that front beam, so that's increased by 20 centimeters, gives you that, it makes it feel more like a front section that's usable, not so it's down low and it's not encroaching. It generally feels bigger, even though essentially it is the same floor plan, which is quite deceiving in what it does. But overall, quite an impressive model, certainly a lot of talking points. By all means, check out the version we've got of the free version of it as well, and historic videos about connecting shelters and things like that, and pitching but yeah, by all means, let us know what you think of the updates and changes. It's always great to hear from you guys. But that's kind of our new video on the Zempire Aerodome 2 V2.